Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. As Steffi suggests Thomas leave with Paris and Douglas, Hope questions her decision. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. We open with Finn continuing to help Hope deal with recent developments. Your feelings are justified, he tells her before pondering whether she was perhaps hoping Thomas might come home and reunite with her. They know one another, Finn says, before adding, as a friend, that he believes Thomas is truly committed to Paris. Hope tells Finn that Steffi would do anything to keep Thomas and I apart, adding that the brunette is clearly pushing the Thomas/Paris pairing. For his part, Finn's all in on the relationship. Why? Because he's sure Hope can do better. When Finn admits he understands why Hope is struggling with the situation, Hope shares that she can't begin to understand why Thomas is rushing into this relationship. She's also confused as to why she turned down his multiple proposals. I don't want to lose him, but the idea of forever absolutely terrifies me. Don't know what's happening to me. At Steffy's house, Paris, Thomas and Douglas are hanging out. I love this, admits Steffy. This beautiful little family. She's thrilled with how close they've all become. Steffi is thrilled to learn that Thomas and Paris will have a traditional Forrester family wedding. Read. In the living room, Douglas shows his aunt the pics he took in Paris, which sadly we don't get to see. The Tat admits that while he misses his mom and little sister, Paris makes Thomas happy and him too. Steffi sends Douglas off to play with Callie and Hayes in the guest house. Steffi continues making it clear she's totally #Team Tourist, while Paris hopes that perhaps Douglas can talk some sense into Hope. Paris reveals that she knows Hope still has feeling for Thomas. That said, she is not feeling insecure about it at all. I'm completely confident in our love for each other. Steffi says her brother hasn't been this happy in ages, and Hope should be able to see that too. It makes me wonder what's really going on with Hope. She muses, unaware the blonde in question is pouring her heart out to Finn. Over at Wedding Central, at the Forrester mansion, Eric is ready to host the wedding whenever it happens. Brooke suggests it might be a long engagement, as if, while Donna wonders if Thomas is actually as over Hope as he insists he is. Riddich, of course, immediately bristles. He and Eric agree that Thomas and Hope will always be connected, but he's moved on with Paris. As Donna continues to question why Thomas is in such a rush, Ridge gets increasingly frustrated. I'm not insensitive to what Hope's going through, he insists, despite being exactly that. Brooke claims not to be lobbying for a Thomas/Hope reunion, but adds that her daughter is lost and confused. She then asks if Steffi might be pushing Thomas toward Paris in order to keep him away from Hope. No one forced them together, snaps Ridge. Thomas is excited about his future with Paris. And so is Douglas. He loves Paris. He vaguely acknowledges Hope's pain before suggesting she find someone else somewhere else. Hope continues to question her own feelings. All I had to do was say yes, she tells Finn. But I turned him down. And I am starting to wonder, is it just because I can't have him? Finn says the one thing he knows is that she will find love again, because people are drawn to her and she's awesome, and there is life after Thomas. After Eric and Donna go down to the pool, Ridge and Brooke are left behind to continue discussing. What else? Hope, Paris and Thomas. Ridge says he's sorry her daughter is hurting, but Thomas has moved on. He's found some joy in his life. He promises that Hope will find someone to share her life with. Paris and Douglas take a walk on the beach, leaving Steffi and Thomas to talk about his wedding plans, of which she clearly approves. He worries he made things weird by asking permission to marry in the family mansion in front of everyone. Oh, you mean in front of Hope? She asks, reminding him that she turned him down. She didn't want a life with you. You know who wants a life with you. Paris, she wants to be your wife. More than that, she's just fantastic. She's wonderful. Translation: she's not Hope. Steffi doesn't want to put everything on Hope, but you were never enough. As hard as you tried, you could just never measure up, and that's not right, Thomas. After all, Steffi knows he's an extraordinary man. She suggests he put Hope behind him. Take Paris, take Douglas, and go to Europe. Live a spectacular life. When you come back, Hope will have moved on. She'll be on to another man. Steffi Forrester paced back and forth in the spacious living room of the Forrester mansion. The tension in the air was palpable, a heavy weight that seemed to press down on everyone present. Her mind raced with thoughts of family, love, and the intricate web of relationships that held them all together, or threatened to tear them apart. She stopped abruptly, her gaze falling on her brother Thomas, who sat on the couch, looking weary and conflicted. Thomas, Steffi began, her voice firm but laced with concern, I've been thinking a lot about everything that's happened lately. With Hope, with the business, with the kids. It's all just too much, for all of us. Thomas looked up at her, his eyes filled with a mixture of guilt and determination. He knew his actions had caused a ripple effect that was now crashing down on their family. He had tried to make amends, to prove he had changed, but the past had a way of lingering, casting long shadows over the present. I know, Steffy, Thomas replied, his voice barely above a whisper. I know I've made mistakes. But I love Douglas and I want to be there for him. I want to be a better man. Steffi nodded, her expression softening. She believed in her brother's desire to change, but she also knew that sometimes the best intentions weren't enough. Sometimes distance was necessary to heal wounds and find clarity. I believe you, Thomas, she said gently. But I think it's time for a change. A fresh start. For you, for Douglas, and for Paris. Paris Buckingham, who had been standing quietly by the window, turned to face Steffi, her brow furrowed in confusion. A fresh start. What do you mean, Steffi? Steffi took a deep breath, gathering her thoughts. I think it would be best if you, Thomas, and Douglas left Los Angeles for a while, went somewhere new, a place where you can focus on rebuilding your lives without the constant pressure and scrutiny of the past. Thomas's eyes widened in surprise. He hadn't expected this suggestion, and it took him a moment to process it. Leave Los Angeles? But Steffi, this is our home. Our family's here. I know, Steffi said softly. But sometimes a change of scenery can help us see things more clearly. It can give us the space we need to grow and heal. And I think you, Paris, and Douglas deserve that chance. Paris stepped forward, her eyes meeting Steffi's. And what about Hope? How is she going to feel about this? Steffi's expression grew more serious. Hope has always wanted what's best for Douglas. And right now, I think what's best for him is stability and peace. This situation has been hard on everyone, especially Douglas. A fresh start could be exactly what he needs. Just then, the door to the living room opened and Hope Logan walked in, her eyes scanning the room. She had overheard the last part of the conversation, and her heart was pounding in her chest. What's going on? She asked, her voice tight with concern. Steffi turned to face Hope, her expression calm but determined. Hope, we were just discussing what's best for Douglas and for Thomas. I suggested that they, along with Paris, leave Los Angeles for a while, to get a fresh start. Hope's eyes widened in shock. Leave? Steffi, you can't be serious. Douglas needs his family. He needs stability. And that's exactly why I'm suggesting this, Steffi replied. Our family is in turmoil right now. Douglas is caught in the middle of all this chaos. A fresh start could give him the stability he needs. Hope shook her head, her emotions swirling. But what about us? What about the co-parenting arrangement we have? How is that supposed to work if Thomas and Douglas are somewhere else? Thomas stood up, his expression earnest. Hope, I know this is a lot to take in, but I think Steffi has a point. Maybe some time away could be good for all of us. It doesn't have to be permanent. Just enough time to reset, to heal. Hope's eyes filled with tears. She cared deeply for Douglas, and the thought of him being far away was almost too much to bear. But she also knew that Thomas had a point. Their lives had been nothing but turmoil lately, and maybe, just maybe, some distance could help them all find the peace is so desperately needed. I don't know, Hope said, her voice trembling. I just want what's best for Douglas. We all do, Steffi said gently. And I truly believe that this could be the best thing for him, for all of you.